Let's turn to Ukraine and the destruction left after the Kakhovka dam burst. Ukraine blamed Russia for the attack, which has left communities struggling with what's become a humanitarian and environmental disaster. Those above the dam are suffering chronic water shortages, and satellite imagery shows how the destruction of that dam has created complete problems across the entire region for that reservoir upriver from the dam, and dramatically shrinking up and drying up, while those below, of course, in the city of Kherson, are cleaning out their homes after water levels that were once higher than their houses start to recede. More than 50 people have died, dozens more are missing, and Russian forces continue to shell the region. Andrew Harding sent us this report from southern Ukraine.
A boat beached on the roadside. Plenty of puddles, and in places more than puddles. How can I live in this? Asks 72-year-old Anna. But the worst of the flooding is now over here in Kherson, a frontline city still targeted daily by Russian artillery. Somebody has helpfully marked the high water point on this building, and you can see over here on the garage door the lines where the floodwaters have slowly receded from this area. But there's mud everywhere. Retired teachers Irina and Yevgeny clear through the wreckage of their musty, waterlogged home. We're like rats, says Irina. We've endured so many disasters, the shelling, the flood. It's as if we've become immune to it all. Flood rescue workers suddenly race for cover as Russian guns start up again. But many civilians here refuse to be driven out of Kherson. It's a defiance, a resilience that only seems to have grown since the events of the 6th of June. That was the day suspected Russian sabotage destroyed this nearby Kakhovka dam, releasing a deluge of water downstream. But what about upstream? Here, that same dam's collapse has emptied out the largest body of fresh water in Ukraine. This giant reservoir contained 18 cubic kilometres of water. If it helps, try picturing one giant paddling pool the size of England. And all that water has abruptly vanished. And the impact on wildlife here and on humans has been catastrophic. The nearby towns have all run out of water. 500,000 people suddenly relying on emergency supplies. What do you think it's like, carrying water like a donkey? Asks Yulia. It's scary, says Nina. And the future is even scarier. And yet, life rumbles on here. Many local men have left to fight the Russians. But Ivan and his uncle, also Ivan, are still working the fields. There are no polite words for what the Russians have done here to our environment, both men agree. And there's something else troubling them. Across the floor of the empty reservoir, Russian troops are in control of Europe's largest nuclear plant. It feels closer than ever now, its future uncertain too. Another worry on this muddy, unpredictable front line. Andrew Harding, BBC News, Ukraine.